Yeah.
So geofencing or geotargeting, in reality, can be applied in so many different ways.
They're going to be affordable. They're providing the skip tracing up front. This thing's got to be astronomical. What does it cost to get a county? That way we're not wasting time or money.
100%.
Rami, how are you, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to have this conversation. Before we get into DataFlik, tell me about your background and how you got into real estate.
Got you. So how I got into real estate actually started with my business partner, Ty.
Okay.
He was in mortgage for a while, joined Fortune Builders. I don't know if you remember them.
Mm-hmm.
Then Tiff and Josh in Columbus, Ohio, hired him for a dispo job.
Oh, wow.
So I am fresh out of college, trying to figure out what to do in my life, working on a landscaping job for a buddy of mine, actually. And he calls me. It's like, I know you're just looking around, trying to figure out what to do with your life. I have a follow-up specialist role here. Come interview for it.
Nice.
I go up, interview. One thing led to another. I'm working with them for the next 6 months in Columbus, Ohio.
Nice.
Yeah. No, that was the start of it, man.
So how did that go? Like, how did you go from working for Tiffany and Josh, because they're juggernauts now, right?
Yes.
They've got a pretty
they are
solid
huge now.
company. So what happened from there? Like, take me on that journey.
100%. So back then, they were nowhere near as huge, to be honest. Like, Tiff will talk about what I called the Great Purge, where a lot of the staff got let off because they weren't performing right. They were working off of gurus' expectations at that time versus now they're working off science, facts, data, and just performing so much better. So I got rapidly promoted to acquisitions and kind of just thrown in the weeds with them, with all of us trying to figure out. It was a great community building, bonding experience all around. But I'm a big homebody, right?
Gotcha.
All my family's in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I got real homesick. So Ty and I moved back to Knox. Started doing it ourselves, working with a few money partners, and realized data kind of sucks, right? And that was literally the rabbit hole that created DataFlik, though. Just one step after another. Then we got some fundraising for it and just kept it pushing.
Nice, man. So let's talk about DataFlik, right? I first seen you guys on Steve Trang's podcast, and I kept hearing AI machine learning. I'm like, what the hell is AI machine learning? Because the type of data that we know is like prop stream, batch leads. You've got like property radar. There's a bunch of different providers. Like you got 80/20 REI, Audantic, and a lot of you got the lower end, which is like prop stream. You've got like a subscription, and you got Audantic that could be like 20-30K a year, right? So what made you guys decide to start DataFlik?
Definitely. So probably very similar mindset to Audantic in the sense of, to me, it was more than just hitting a list, right? So one of the most common lists you'll hear people hit is absentee.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone and their brother does. But let's be honest. Do you own a rental right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're an absentee homeowner. You're on that list.
Yep.
Would you ever sell below 50% ARV?
No.
That's my point. So we followed that exact logic going down that train, right? Like, sure, someone can have a lien, but if that's $1,000 lien and they make $200K a year, they're not selling their house at a discount. That why are we hitting these lists in this mass broad way when we can get more narrowed in on the data itself and hit it from multiple angles to actually connect with them better?
Got you.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what led us to that predictive machine learning route, which I'm guessing Audantic had a very similar mindset in that regard.
Yeah. I've never used Audantic. I've used 80/20 REI. I've used PropStream. PropStream is, in my opinion, the low-hanging fruit because it's cheap to subscribe to. It's like $99 a month, and you can pull like 10,000 leads per month, right? When I jumped on with you guys, what I was impressed was, it was one, you guys provide the skip tracing, right? That saves a ton of money because that's where most of the money's spent on data. When you're talking 10 to 12 cents per lead, right?
Yeah.
But also you guys have like the model scores that shows like the pain points. So let's talk about that because these other data providers don't provide that, right? So let's talk about the data scores, what they mean, and how to utilize that.
Yeah, 100%. So with our scores, it's a combination of two main things. How likely the property is to sell. Now that could be on market, off market, full price, half price, whatever, right? And then the second part, which is really the key, how likely it'll sell to an investor. So that's where the motivation really lies in all of this, right? So when we're talking about that likely to sell to investor piece, we're looking at a ton of back testing data creating seller profiles around essentially the demographics, building out an actual seller profile,
Yeah.
and then seeing if it matches these new ones coming up.
So when you say seller profile, what do you mean by seller profile?
Oh, yeah. So in reality, there's 900 unique data points we could get into, right? But to keep it kind of simple, how many people live in the house? What's their marital status? What kind of vehicle are they driving? What's their relationship with the bank? We can just go deeper and deeper into as much data as we can get. And it's not me saying, oh, yeah, the relationship with the bank isn't the best. Let's hit that up. It's our model taking that into account as one little piece of this massive puzzle.
Did you guys have to build that model to be able to track that?
Yeah. So how we built this was years of historical data and current data. And then we have our deep learning machine models running through all of this to come up with these scores, come up with the likeliness they will transact.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what is machine learning?
Got you. So machine learning, it can be applied in so many different ways, but the simplest answer is taking a ton of data, right? Running it through models to come up with an outcome. Right. And the beautiful thing about machine learning is the more data it gets, the more accurate it'll be, the better it'll get over time. So we're talking about our real estate models right now. I know one of your counties is Clayton. Hope that's okay me saying.
Yeah, no,
that list is like 13,000 records, something like that.
Yeah.
In 2 years, that list could be 5,000, covering the same amount of investor transactions.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
So I guess what's the separation between like the machine learning and the AI, or is that both one and the same thing?
So they do work hand in hand a lot of the time, but AI or artificial intelligence is more so replacing a human to do a job that much better. So like if you had a huge Excel sheet of a ton of people named Frank and their last names are different, you could say, hey, Excel, or hey, ChatGPT, for example, a great version of AI. Go through and find all the people whose last name starts with an S and has the first name of Frank, and it'll automatically do that for you, as a human would take much longer to do that. So that's what AI is. Versus machine learning is much more in-depth route of creating predictions, creating analysis that a regular human just couldn't do.
Got you. So I guess what is like the ideal type of user for this type of data? Is it only catering to like wholesalers? Is it catering to realtors?
Yeah. So we actually have multiple products. So we have an investor product and a realtor product. So the realtor product focuses more so on people who are likely to sell, and it'll lean more towards full price on market, right? While the investor product does have that motivation piece where they're more likely to sell to an investor in that regard. Right.
Okay.
Now, in terms of who's the ideal to use it, it would be someone who has those marketing channels in place to properly utilize the data.
Okay.
Right.
So is there certain marketing channels that you guys have noticed that are like the most effective, or is it all marketing channels work? It's just dependent on the area.
So area is massive, right? Location, I can't stress that enough. A mailer can be phenomenal in Georgia and awful in Las Vegas. Right? Same mailer, same list size, all the above.
Yeah.
So the location's huge, but also the more channels you have running in reality, the better people are going to respond. You could have someone who never checks their mail, but the first time they get a text, they're responding. Or you could have someone who never answers their phone. They think every number they don't know is a spam call, but that direct mailer or that commercial they see on TV is going to push them to be much more receptive.
Got you.
Right.
Okay.
So an omni-channel approach is always the best in terms of just getting in front of those ideal clients.
Got you. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So back to the model scoring, right? Obviously, the higher the score, the more pain points that they have, right?
Yeah, to a degree.
So are we adding in factors of like if they're in bankruptcy, foreclosure, if all that is a combination of something, that means like they're going to have that higher model score?
Yeah. So we take about 20 classic distress lists into account, from absentee high equity, which are just abused lists, in my opinion, to the pre-probates, pre-foreclosures, bankruptcy, short-term loan inquiries, right? Zombie properties even.
Gotcha.
But for us, we're using them as data points. So not, this list is all pre-foreclosures that fit in our model. No, it's saying they have a pre-foreclosure, machine learning model, where does that put them with all these other data points in terms of where they should be on our list?
Gotcha.
Right? So it's a different approach in that regard too.
Okay. So we've talked about the other data providers, right? Like a batch leads and a prop stream, right? One of my issues, like I said in the beginning, is it's that low hanging fruit, right? Everyone's able to access it. It's at a cheap cost, and that makes it a little harder for people like myself who are investors looking to wholesale or fix and flip, whatever the case may be, right? With DataFlik, are you guys capping the amount of users that have access to what you guys are providing, or is it a free for all? Anybody can have access to it.
Not at all. So we allow 1 to 5 users depending the size of the county itself, right? For example, we're looking at Maricopa, which is Phoenix, Arizona. Huge county.
Yeah.
5 people can probably fit just fine. Then we look at Clayton, 1 to 2. Much smaller county, much smaller list size. Even if you are doing different types of marketing, there's probably going to be overlap there versus like Maricopa, a lot less likely.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's good to know. So you guys watching this, just know you're not going to have a bunch of competition if you use DataFlik. So let's talk about this whole geofencing, geotargeting. Something I just started with you guys. What are the details behind this? How does it work? Give me the insight on this.
So this falls under what we call digital ads in general, right? Geofencing, it's the catchiest, but it's just a small piece of it, if we're being honest. So I'm actually going to turn this on you a little. What's your understanding of geofencing currently?
Geofencing, from my understanding, is like if I pull data, right? If there's a certain neighborhood that I want to go after, a certain county, you guys are able to use geotargeting or geofencing to where you can place my ads in front of that homeowner because I'm providing you guys with the address. Something to that effect.
Essentially, yeah. So geofencing or geotargeting in reality can be applied in so many different ways.
Okay.
For example, law enforcement uses it to find phones at crime scenes.
Wow.
That were there, right? Or for people who play Pokemon Go, for that generation, if you're near a Poke Center, that's when your phone will let you swipe for the balls.
Right.
Right? Or you go to Target. You don't buy anything and the next day you're getting ads for Target. That's geofencing.
Wow.
Yeah, so this can be applied in a ton of different ways. How DataFlik specifically does it is we're giving you our predictive list. We're going to sort that by your buy box to make sure we're only reaching out to the houses you want.
Yeah.
Then we do geofence that mailing address. So once we do that, it's not just the phone anymore. Now we're able to send ads to all the devices in that house. TV, laptop, tablet, computer, cell phone, etc.
So when we say ads, are we talking about like social media ads, banner ads? Like what type of ads are we talking about?
So a few different kinds. First is streaming commercials, right? So you're on ESPN streaming platform. There's an ad.
Oh, wow.
Do you watch Ted Lasso by chance, Apple TV?
No, I don't.
Got you. Great show. Check it out. But there's an ad. You're on HBO ad. Watching The Office on Peacock. I can go on and on here. So that's the first one. Second is the pre-roll videos. You're on ESPN.com, looking at highlight reels. Season's about to start. That non-skippable ad that pops up, pre-roll videos. There's another place you're at. Then, as you mentioned, banner ads. These are everywhere. Any site you've ever really gone to, right?
Wow.
And lastly, social media as well, which is Facebook and Instagram.
So what about like cookies and stuff like that?
So we aren't using cookies because cookies are about to get shut down, actually.
Really?
Yeah, do your own research on that. But there's been a lot of stuff around Google shutting down cookies.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I checked that out. But the beautiful thing with these ads, because we're doing it how we're doing it, it's not saying let's put 5,000 into Facebook and let it ride, or 5,000 into banner ads. It's saying wherever they go on the internet, these ads are streaming to them. Right? So if they are never on ESPN, of course an ad is never going to be serviced to ESPN. If they are only ever on those 14-page food blogs that are way too long for no reason to find that recipe at the bottom, they will only see those banner ads pop up.
Wow.
But the whole goal is to saturate them where they are.
So this is almost like, I don't want to say it's like PPC, but it's a lot cheaper than trying to do a TV commercial on Channel 2 news or anything like that.
It's a mix of that, but it's also more targeted, right? We are picking the specific people we want to send these ads to, or the specific homes, right? It's not saying, yeah, in Clayton County, Channel 2, 5 p.m., there's Justin. What's up?
Yeah.
No, it's more so, oh, we got Greg Smith here at 123 Main Street, the most common address ever.
Yeah.
We're going to send ads to his house.
That's hilarious, dude. So it's very specific to where we're not wasting our marketing dollars.
Exactly.
Like you said, it's not just, hey, at 5 p.m. you're going to air. Whoever sees it, sees it. This is more specific, more targeted, so that we're making sure we're getting in front of the right people.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay. So data brokers, man. I want to talk about data brokers because watch some of your guys' interviews, some of your podcasts, and I keep hearing the word data broker float around. What the hell is a data broker?
Got you. So data broker or data aggregator, raw data providers, it's essentially these massive companies who their whole job is to get raw data. Got you. Right. And whatever specialty they have. So whether it's more on the demographic side, more on the housing side, more on the economic side, whatever it is, they're just massive data aggregators. And AI companies like us utilize them to get all this data en masse to then run it through our models.
Wow. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about some wins, man. You guys have quite a few users, right? How many users do you guys currently have right now?
About 75 to 80.
Okay.
Somewhere in that
so
range.
That's good. So it's not like there's a ton of people getting access to this data. It's very exclusive then.
100%. We only want to work with people who, A, we think we can truly help,
Yeah.
but B, we can build that relationship with.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So are most of those people using geo-targeting, or is it like half and half? Or
I would say more so start off with just the data to test the data, make sure they like it, then get into the geofencing, geo-targeting range, right? Because the beautiful thing about the digital ads is, yes, they may get you a deal or two, but that's not really the goal of them.
Right.
The goal of them is to boost every channel under it. So imagine a massive funnel.
Yeah.
In reality, investors start in the middle of that funnel. They start with immediately, I need deals. Here's PPC. Here's cold call. Here's text. Here's direct mail. Let's get deals. But if you look at any other industry besides real estate,
yeah,
it starts at the top. It starts with a trust foundation, people reaching out or them seeing you somewhere on TV or on the internet and building that recognition to boost those at the bottom. A great example of this, do you know what Topgolf is?
Yeah.
Did you know there's a basketball version of Topgolf?
No, I had no idea.
So I saw this commercial the other day. I couldn't tell you the name of it to save my life, but I know the thought of it, right? First thing I'm going to do is search basketball Topgolf. Now we flip that to you. We say, okay, yeah, you know, I have thought about selling. That commercial was great. What was the name of the company again? Sell My House Fast. And boom, just like that, your PPC is getting boosted. Or they've been seeing these ads for a month now. It's really in their head. They are primed to either selling to an investor or just seeing you everywhere. And then they get a mailer from you a month later. They're going to be so much more receptive. You're just cutting down on those minimum touch points you have to get to before hitting them with that bottom of the funnel mailing.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about costs, right? I know a lot of people are watching this are going to be like, man, what is this cost? It sounds very sophisticated. It sounds intimidating. Is this even going to be affordable? They're providing the skip tracing up front. This thing's got to be astronomical, right?
Yeah.
What does it cost to get a county?
100%. So we do cost per county, and it's like an investor license.
Okay.
So essentially everything we think's worth reaching out to, you're going to have access to for that cost. Now the cost is anywhere from $750 to $2,500 depending the county's size. Now we throw in discounts if you get multiple counties, which you experienced yourself.
Yeah.
But overall, that's how we do it for a 6-month agreement, paid monthly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we look at the digital ads, and that's different. The reason why it's different is we're not taking a management fee. We're not taking an ad spend overhead. It's literally cost per send out.
Do you have like a rough estimate of what that costs?
So we do have a 5K minimum on it.
Okay.
The only reason being is we've seen how 3,500 performs versus 5K.
Yeah.
And it's night and day.
Gotcha.
So if you have that budget, that's putting it there to really push it forward will make a world of difference.
So 5K can get you on some streaming platforms,
100%.
like a Hulu, whatever the streaming platform is, to get you in front of people. And we're talking, it's like a TV ad type style.
Of course. Yeah.
Compared to paying freaking $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 to be on like Channel 2 for that 5 o'clock slot. And you don't even know if your avatar of a seller is going to be watching it.
100%. And of course, it depends the county too, right?
Right.
So Clayton, you don't need to reach out to as many people versus, let's say, Harris, Texas. You may be closer, which is Houston. You may be closer to a 10K budget, right? But our minimum is 5K on that.
Got you. Okay. So let's talk about mistakes, man. We all make mistakes, you know, when we get into this business. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see a lot of the users make? I guess it'd be the users that have a very short lifespan with using DataFlik, right? What are some of the big mistakes that you see them make whenever they jump on with you guys?
Got you. So this is actually one of the reasons why, and I'm sure you remember at the beginning of our sales call, I asked you a ton of questions about how you plan to utilize the data, how you're marketing now. One of the reasons why I get into that so deep now is because we used to just let anyone who wanted to on. They could have one cold caller in the largest county in the U.S. and be like, yeah, we're fine. Give us the data. If the data's great, the caller will be great. But that's not really true. Depending the county, you need proper marketing penetration, to be honest. Right? So going into Las Vegas with a single cold caller versus instead of that, using, I know we talked about PropStream, which everyone has access, but you can still be smart with building those lists.
Yeah.
Right? So start with a more average list, but build out that marketing power, then upgrade that data source. And that's going to take you so much further than you having great data, but not being able to move forward.
Okay.
I always compare it to, let's say you're in a canoe in the ocean, right? You're trying to go over some massive waves. There's a hole in your boat. The first thing you're doing isn't getting a better paddle.
Right.
You're either patching the hole in your boat and getting a bigger boat. Like that's the answer there, right?
Yeah.
So same there. You really got to make sure those marketing channels are set properly so the data can do its job.
Got you. You guys, let's talk about list stacking. Before I get into the other part, what is list stacking?
Yeah, so list stacking, which is more common with PropStream, Batch, etc. It's taking a few of those main distressors. So let's say we really like absentee homeowners who have high equity and have tax default, for example. That's list stacking. So we're taking all three of those, saying who fits all three of these categories. Great. Put them together. There's a baseline motivation level. Let's hit that list. So list stacking is a little different than DataFlik's list in that regard, because we're not saying, oh, yeah, we have these three distressors. Let's hit it. We're saying, sure, these three may be there, but what else is going on in their life to see, are they even worth reaching out to or not?
Got you. Okay. Bro, what's next for DataFlik, man?
A lot.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so we have a few products currently in the works.
Okay.
Which I'll go ahead and say some, but please don't start calling me saying, hey, yeah, let's do it right now, because it's not ready just yet. But one of them is Flik ID.
What is that?
Yeah. So it's actually a pairing with our digital advertising.
Okay.
How it's going to work is generally when someone visits your website, it's an anonymous IP address, right? It's just saying, oh, yeah, you had a visit. Cool. We had 1,000 visits this month. Flik ID has the ability to uncover those unique visitors. So now we're saying you were on our predictive data list. You received an ad, interacted with the ad, and went to the site. Let's say you didn't fill out that lead form. You still have motivation.
Yeah.
I don't need to know your seller profile to know if you went through that full process. There's a reason why you visited the site and went through 4 pages.
Wow.
Right? So now that list of, let's say, 1,000 a month is going to be the hottest list to hit. Right.
So they just had hesitation, didn't follow through, but now I can go back and retarget them.
And that mailer, that ad, whatever it is that puts the nail in the coffin is what you need there.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So when is that coming out?
That's coming out here soon. It'll be included in the digital ad package.
Okay.
There may be a tiny charge to uncover them, but
Okay.
that charge, my guess, will be under $100 a month.
Is that going to be able to decipher? Because a lot of the issues that we have, and it really stemmed from like when we were doing PPC and Facebook ads, was you get a lot of realtors and wholesalers that fill out the forms. Right?
Gotcha.
So is it going to be able to track the IP address and let you know if that was the actual homeowner, or if that was just like somebody trying to wholesale you a deal, or a realtor trying to sell you a deal?
So what we're doing is uncovering them and then matching them back to our data set, right? So to a degree, I don't want to say 100% it will clear all of them, because we do want to just uncover everyone who goes to your site.
Yeah.
Even if it's a landing page we're building out for you or whatever it is, which we're not there yet either. So don't call me yet. But yeah, kind of getting a little deeper into that. The whole point with this paired with our digital ads is initially we're already targeting the people we want to talk to and pushing them down that funnel. So sure, that random realtor may still hit you up, but the majority should ideally come from that list we're marketing to.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
That's where
Flick
that difference
ID. Damn. Yeah, you might have to put me on whenever that launches.
Of
man.
course.
So,
Yeah.
what else?
So I'm trying to figure out how much to uncover here.
Spill it, bro.
So we're doing that. We talk about AI, right? We use a ton of it in our day-to-day lives. Just
when you say AI, and you're using AI, what exactly do you mean by that? You're using ChatGPT? Like
ChatGPT is phenomenal. First and foremost, huge fan.
Give me the details on what do you mean by AI, because everyone hears AI, artificial intelligence. I use AI for whatever. Yeah. What do you mean by using AI?
In this case, I am talking about artificial intelligence in the sense of if a person had 24 hours, sure, they could probably accomplish this task, but we're able to do it in 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
Right. Or even longer for the person, but shorter for, like, it's insane what it's getting to the point of. But pairing that with our raw data is what's making it so powerful for us too. So we've had the data on the amount of investor transactions occurring, right? The list size, how big the county is, all that we already have. That's fine. But using systems like this, we're able to then create our own scoring system on that platform to rank the counties, essentially, right? We're going to be able to tell you, yeah, in Georgia, these are the top 5 counties based on the list size, amount of investor transactions occurring, and how well we did in that county.
That way we're not wasting time or money
100%
trying to get deals in a wasted county.
Yeah, one of the most common things I hear is either someone saying, yep, I want to get to 10 deals a month. And I'll look at their county and there were 20 investor transactions that month. I'm like, you're trying to take up 50% of this available market share in the county. That's just that's just not it.
Yeah.
Or the second thing that I hear a lot is, yep, I'm completely remote. You tell me where to be. And I would say I'm pretty good at it, right? I've been in the data for a long time now.
Yeah.
But there's still 3,000 something counties in the U.S.
Yeah.
So once again, utilizing this AI tool, we're able to then dive deeper into, yep, these are the counties you should hit. Oh, you want to do a $10,000 mailer? Yeah, let's find the top 10
This is where you're going to have
codes.
the most success based on the numbers.
100%. For example, we look at Maricopa. I keep saying them because they're just a huge county and a great example. But in the top 25% of zip codes, 75% of the investor transactions occurred.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So applying that same logic to these mail lists that we're creating for people and things like that can take it that much further as well.
That's powerful, bro.
Yeah. And we're doing this to some level now, but it's about to get bumped up much higher here very soon.
All with AI.
All with AI. All machine learning, man. That's the whole goal. Like, I wouldn't consider myself a dumb person. I'd say average to pretty smart.
Yeah, no,
right?
I wouldn't
Somewhere
say
in
you're a
that
dumb
range.
person.
I appreciate it. But there are things that I couldn't even imagine doing. That these systems are like 2 minutes, boom, here's the full system. Oh, you want to determine... We even determined DataFlik's pricing structure through using AI, right? Like, what should I price this county at? Oh, there's a little too high amount of records per that county size. Let's take it down. And that was all AI.
Wow.
In like a 10-minute span. Like 3,000 something counties priced perfectly.
That's powerful. That saves on you guys' overhead too, because now you don't have to go out and hire like a data scientist to go get all this data for you guys. You just get to use technology, which is AI,
100%,
to help you guys and catapult you guys to the next level.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's not just us. You guys can do this too, right?
Yeah.
So you can take, theoretically, all the past transactions you've done, all the data you can get on them, right? How many beds? How many baths? What was the roof made of, if you can, right?
Yeah.
The price is sold at, the price you bought it at, etc. Run all this through systems like ChatGPT-4, Code Interpreter, whatever it is, to find out where's your ideal location that you're buying these properties at, right?
Yeah.
And you can do all this right now. It's like $20 a month. Not to be a sponsorship to ChatGPT or anything. But
I got you. Are you familiar with platforms like an REI Sift?
Some, yeah.
You guys ever plan on having anything similar?
So that's
personally, I feel like that would be a great like addition or bolt on, because one of the things I'm having to do now with the data is like I got to track everybody. I track everyone through CallRail.
Gotcha.
That calls through our direct mail pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they say, yeah, we want to sell or take us off the list. I have to go back through the list you guys provided and highlight in either red, which means take them off, or green, which means they called and they're interested. Then we put them in our CRM. And if we had something that was able to take that off of our plate, that would make things so much easier, make you guys even more powerful if you guys could provide something like
100%.
that.
100%. So we've thought about that a lot. Building out a full system, at least to the degree that DataFlik would want to build it out, is not a small overhead by any means. We have thought about building out that pre-CRM version where you can download your list there, edit it. We even thought about adding our own version of AI into it. Like, it's not a no. It's just a not yet. It's the best I'll say.
Yeah, because spending all the extra overhead costs on platforms like that and then spending money on the CRM, it's like it's getting ridiculous now, man. It's insane, bro. I mean, to me, it's like it's only a matter of time before someone comes out with a product which is going to utilize AI to eliminate all these other vendors that are just costing unnecessary dollars. You know what I mean?
On top of that, and this is pretty big segue, to be honest, but one of the most common issues that I find with sorting through people's CRMs, pulling that data, is just a common form, like of verified data. Knowing this is the mailing address, this is the property address, this is the homeowner, this database, double checked with the county. And I get the county, every single county logs everything very differently, but that's another, I don't think, impossible direction it could take. Or even matching it with maybe not the county, but with raw data providers to have like a double check there. I think that could be very powerful as well in that regard.
1,000%, man. That'd be very powerful. What else, bro? What else y'all got coming down the pipeline?
Well, so I did say we have that realtor product. We've been semi-beta testing it now, but we're about to really go live with it. To be honest, the results on it are a little better than the investor results. And the investor results, we're predicting 7 out of every 10 investor transactions that occur on average.
Yeah.
Right? But the realtors, even that much more.
Yeah.
And when we talk about brand equity, really positioning yourself in the right spot, it matters so much to realtors. To realtors, their name is everything.
Oh, yeah.
While we look at investors, the majority of them are cold calling, texting. And we talk about, okay, I'm going to go down another tangent.
No, go for it.
We talk about how archaic real estate investing is these days. The majority of marketing, we don't say our company name. That is a mind blow. Imagine if a health insurance company cold called you.
Right.
They didn't tell you who they were and was like, yeah, so you're going to sign up, right?
You automatically think scam.
100%. Someone's calling about my car's extended warranty, whatever it is, right? And that's not to say cold calling texts are bad. I think they have good reach, good coverage if done right, depending the county, callers, A2P10 DLC regulations, all the above. But for a realtor, your name's everything.
Yeah.
So building that brand awareness through our digital ads first to push them down that funnel to where they get, let's say, a branded mailer from a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
We're very high hopes.
So do you guys have like hybrids that are like licensed realtors and investors, or people that are just straight realtors that are having a lot of success using you guys?
Yeah. So we do have a few realtors testing us. Honestly, one of our main partners with DataFlik, he's also a realtor as well. So everything we've done, we've tested first, right?
So is he split testing? Because like with what we're doing with our mailers, right? It's strictly for investing.
Gotcha.
Right? So is he doing like separate campaigns, so to speak, for the realtor side and the investor side?
To a degree, but a lot of times those overlap. And if you're going to look at the overlap, the investor product's the better move, right? So going back to the omni-channel marketing of hitting them every way you can.
Yeah.
Same on the exit strategy. The more ways you can dispose, sell, profit off a house, just the more options you're going to have to utilize our list. If you're able to do the creative finance, the novations, the list if it's a good list, the wholesale, fix and flip, wholesale, all the above, right? The more options you give yourself just in general, the better it's going to be.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, man, I'm going to have to tap in on that side, because isn't like the market share for people that sell the home, it's like only about 10 to 15% is through like cash deals or on the investor side.
Average 10% to investor transaction of all the transactions that occur in a county. Yeah.
So you've got freaking 90% of the people that sell are selling the traditional way, and there's not that many people out there, realtors,
at least marketing,
that are marketing and utilizing the data to get in front of these people.
Now let's get one thing right. The amount of realtors right now is insane.
Oh yeah.
Right, but the amount of, no offense, the amount of realtors marketing properly is very little.
Slim to none.
They're taught to do word of mouth, Zillow leads, whatever it is in that regard.
Yeah.
When they're
the
not
low-hanging fruit.
100%. Yeah. And that's, I get it. You have to start somewhere. Everyone doesn't have 7,000 they can drop monthly for 5 months and get consistent results. I completely get it.
Yeah.
But as a realtor does build up, referral and word of mouth is great. But if you're talking about in one county, there's twice as many realtors as there are properties on the market. Word of mouth is only going to go so far these days.
Wow.
And I think the other average stat is, I think 70% of people who buy or sell go with a different agent than they did last time. So there's constantly
70%.
Yeah, it's a high amount.
So that means there's about, because one of the issues we always face, right? Because we offer to list properties not through us, but through our affiliated realtors we do business with. One of the issues is every time we say that, say 99% of the time, we say I have a friend or family member who's a real estate agent, but you just said 70% use a different realtor when they go to sell or buy. So that's 70% of the people, correct me if I'm wrong, that don't personally know a realtor. Because if you're using a different realtor,
don't know a realtor, or if they got reached out to by a more impressive and they have more confidence in this realtor. Like, I have a lot of friends who are realtors. Some of them are great. Some of them
average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's that level of hierarchy and trust. So if you're able to market to them properly without them even really knowing your, like, no one ever asks, how'd you get my IP address to send me this streaming ad, right?
Yeah.
So if you're able to build that trust, that sense of whatever you have, we're able to handle it and make you profitable and happy on the back end, that's going to push people to you, even if they have someone on the sides. The majority of the time.
Yeah, 1,000%. What else, man? Is there anything else you want to spill the beans on?
I feel like I've spilled a lot of beans.
Keep them coming.
I mean, everything else is probably too far ahead to really talk about.
Gotcha. So you guys got stuff in the works.
Of course, yeah. Let's just say we're probably not going to stop at real estate.
Okay, that was actually about to be my next question. Are you guys going to get into other sectors, other spaces? Because I know you right now it's just real estate, but data goes a very long way. Data is a horizontal thing, meaning it can go across many different industries.
Mm-hmm.
The top companies utilize data to target their audience, right? So when I say what's next for DataFlik, I know you talked about what you guys are going to do in the real estate space, but big picture, what are we talking about here?
No, that's fair. And this is big picture, right? So just like investors, we want to make sure that we are going deep enough in the current market, making sure our systems are set properly, people are utilizing it properly before we expand. We don't want to be like, yeah, we have half a product here, let's go into solar, right? Like, we want to make sure we're doing it properly, growing the realtor side as well, doing that properly, then expanding as needed.
Yeah.
But it's almost, as you said here, man, right? Like, data is universal, marketing is universal.
Yeah, it's the most important thing you can use, man.
So using our systems and our data, we'll be able to essentially build ICP lists, ideal customer profiles, and then market to that company's exact criteria.
Have you guys like identified, I guess, the immediate next type of sector you guys want to go after?
It will probably be a horizontal one, so something similar to real estate, like maybe mortgage, maybe solar, something still revolving around housing.
Gotcha.
That's probably the next and easiest step.
Yeah.
But once again, we want to make sure real estate is nailed perfectly first before we expand.
Wow. Bro, that can be massive. Because you guys are not just providing the actual data. When you bolt on the geofencing as well, and then everything else that you talked about that's coming up through the pipeline of DataFlik, it's a game changer. That can really separate you guys from the competition. So, anything else?
I'm going to leave it there. There's a few things you may see in a few months, but I'm going to leave it there for now.
Gotcha. Well, listen, man, you came on here. You gave a lot of good gems, a lot of good value. I appreciate it, man. Guys, if you guys are watching this, I hope you guys really tuned in and listened. Rami came on. He dropped bombs. There's a lot of value that he gave. Please like, share, subscribe, comment your favorite part about this video. Until then, I will see you guys on the next episode.